Hey guys, Grass here. This video is basically on something that I watched from the Legendary workshop from the Blizzard team, and something specifically said by John Yang, one of the game developers, if you don't know who he is, in regards to seasonal weapons potentially rolling over. So this is just a bit of the video.
One cool thing we've often talked about is, for seasonal, what if at the end of a season, you could take one item, put your character's name on it, and it's like the heirloom item that you take into the next season. It gives you like a head start. It makes you want to play season after season. That's something we talked about, but no solid plans on that.
That's right, what? Season weapons roll over. Now obviously he did mention that this won't obviously happen very soon or the next season, but isn't the whole purpose of seasons to be a competitive ladder so that you start as a reset character, everything is reset? This technically puts you in an advantage irrespective of irrespective of you playing the previous season or not. It puts each player already at a significant advantage if they pick the right item. Is it strategy? I'm not sure. In all honesty, it was more brainstorming, and I think that was more of a brain fart moment, but it seems to be that they have discussed it, and hopefully this doesn't come out. They also did mention that in the Legendary workshop that they are changing the drop rate of the rarest legendaries from 10 to 25, which basically means that it's 2.5 times less rare for in the next patch, which is 2.1.2, which Season 2 will come out on, for rare items like Furnace and so on like that, which is also a good thing. So if this occurs, and you can actually roll over an item, what item will it be? So here are 3 items that I've chosen, and this is more generalized, so I haven't been class specific, obviously, because it's just going to be much more of a longer video. So I've just chosen 3 items that I think would be a great item to roll over, and also my thought process. One thing I didn't include is set items. Now, the reason why I didn't choose set items is because set items aren't too hard to get in regards to once you start doing T6 or even doing bloodshot gambling, and also in more cases that your set item that you choose, irrespective of you being a demon hunter and you want a marauder set, or a Crusader and you want a Khan set, you probably want something like an ancient anyway. So I hope you like this video. Just watch my 3 selections. So these are my 3 items I would contemplate on getting. So in third place, weapon. Now in most cases the weapon that you would be going for is the Furnace. Now with majority of the classes, the Furnace is probably the best item to get. The weapon will give you a damage booster straight away once you hit level 70. Not only will the Furnace give you a damage booster, you also have this Ramaldani gift. So that means you get the extra slot. So I mean, it is a fantastic idea to get a weapon. Now, this is again generalized. If you're going to be a demon hunter, you would probably go with a bow, obviously. And in generalization, most people would be going for a weapon if this was an actual concept that you could roll over one item from one season to the other. But the reason why I say this would be the third item is because a weapon is extremely short term. What I mean by that, is that in 2.1.2 patch, when Season 2 comes out, they have changed the drop rate to be 4 times as rare as the common item. So they've changed the drops for items like the furnace from being a 10 to 25. So it means that, again, you've got a 2.5 times less rare than what it is currently. So it means that getting a furnace is not going to be as hard, but also in most likelihood you probably want to get an ancient version later on. So in most honesty, it helps you out immensely at the start of level 70 and getting those early paragons, but later on you will probably be replacing the weapon. So the second item is jewelry. So what jewelry item? Well, the jewelry item I pick is the Unity. It is the only piece of gear that you need 2 of. The reason why you need 2 of is to take advantage of the actual Unity buff with the follower. So with this particular item, for it to work, you need to have obviously the follower's item with the follower can't die, plus you need a Unity. It doesn't matter whether that Unity is good or not. It doesn't matter whether that Unity is an ancient or not. But because it is a rare drop, you need 2 of these items. So if you're going to be soloing greater rifts, you need 2 Unities, and it just makes sense that I put a Unity over a weapon. I know it doesn't increase your damage, but it does help you out in survivability. So I find that Unity would be the second choice. So what item would I hold valued as number 1? Well, it's another jewelry item, and it isn't the Ring of Royal Grandeur or the Stone of Jordan. It is the actual crafted Hellfire Amulet. Now, the reason why I hold this more highly over any other item that I would roll over is because of every aspect of it. This item helps you out in the short term, and it also helps you out in the long term. This is not a required level item, which means that you can actually put this on straight away. So you get definitely benefits out of this particular item straight away from starting a season. So that's the first thing. It also helps you out when you're actually level 70. Not only do you have the secondary affix that gives you an extra passive, which is absolutely massive, it also will give you the affixes that you want. So if you've done a season, and this one I have is not really good, obviously it's for a demon hunter, you're more likely to have things like either cooldown reduction, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, maybe primary, or even an elemental. So these stats with a really good rolled one, you probably want to take this with season that follows the previous one. Now the whole purpose and the reason being is that getting a Hellfire Amulet is not the same flow as what you would do during a season. When you start a season, you'll level up to level 70 by most likely doing bounties to get rift keystones, and then moving on to doing normal rifts, and then following it up with doing greater rifts. Now when you're doing greater rifts or normal rifts, you get blood shards, which you will gamble on set items. So that's why I didn't recommend any set items, because you can actually gamble with Kadala, and you can also gamble on specific items that you need, whether it's what is it, the Tasker and Theo and things like that, if your build requires it. Also, getting the raw ring, even though it is still a different way you would do T6 bounty split runs, it's fairly easy. It's 100% drop rate. To actually get a Hellfire Amulet, you need to farm the Key Wardens, which at the moment the drop rate is on T6 is a 50% chance, and there's 4 Wardens that you have to get actually one of the keys. So if I've got the keys here, to get the keys, so you will need to get 4, and it's a 50% drop each Warden. Then you would have to actually craft the machines by buying the book and then doing the infernal bosses or the uber bosses. So in this case there's 4 of them. Once you do that, you will actually need to go to the craftsman and craft the actual amulet. Now the problem is with this particular amulet, it's not actually easy to get a really good rolled one. In most cases you'll need to get the passive that you need plus the stats you need. So farming for this particular item is going to be significantly harder than it is to get a furnace or to actually get a unity. So that's why I hold a Hellfire Amulet as the #1 choice, because it helps you in the short term and in the long term. And even with getting a ancient, that would be extremely hard. So what item would you pick if you had the opportunity of rolling over one of your items to the next season? So guys, hopefully you liked the video. If you do, give us a thumbs up, it really helps. And if you like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.